Well, we got 8 people in here. Um, and I guess I'll make my announcement. Uh, Kind of out of the blue, but this is going to be my last fast break and super fans. Maybe for a little bit. Maybe my mind will change. Maybe I'll just be a guest. Maybe you guys can have me on for some stuff like that. But at least for the future, I am going to be leaving Most Valuable Podcast. I told Dave and Ricky yesterday my decision, and I there's it's bittersweet, and there's regret, and there's every emotion that somebody can feel after doing something like this for 4.5 years with your best friends. Um, it's been an incredible time doing this with Dave and Ricky and Mark and Brandon and Mike Rankin and Buzz and Juice as well. And Johnny. I don't
We
think I ever did a
we don't mention
hey.
Buzz and Juice.
I did a podcast with them. I did a live podcast with them. They were right next to me.
And your
Um,
first Fast Break co-host.
and Phil Bridges, of course, my guy. I was gonna save him for last, but yeah, Phil Bridges
Makes
as well. First ever podcast
Wait.
was
Blast from the past.
5 seconds. What are we doing?
I'm falling
Moment of
asleep
silence
on
for
you.
Phil Bridges.
No, I'm falling asleep
Oh.
on you.
I call him
Um,
Boost News.
Yeah, my first ever podcast was about the Warriors going 72-10. They go 73-9. We're ending it with Last Dance talk about the same team that went 72-10. So it's kind of full circle, and it's an extremely weird thing to be talking about this right now and be leaving something that I never thought I would. But right now I think it's the time because I think that you know you guys will be better off if I'm not here. And I know it sounds a little bit weird, but a lot of stuff is going on, and I think that our fans, our patrons, and you two especially deserve my full heart and attention, and I don't think I've been able to give that recently. So at least for the future, I'm going to be stepping away, and I obviously can't thank you guys enough. I obviously can't thank Mark enough because he helped bring me on. I can't help thank Brandon enough because Brandon and I doing those NFL videos, stuff I will never forget. Mike Rankin helped me find a different voice for myself. He's fantastic. Johnny's one of the nicest guys ever. Never did a podcast with Johnny, but he's a fantastic guy. And then
Did
the
you ever
real
meet
MVP
Johnny?
too.
Yes, you did. He was in
Yeah, I
a
met
meeting
Johnny.
once. That's right.
Evan, the real MVP of MVP of Most Valuable Podcasts, Peter Creighton, for letting us use that room as many times as he did. What a fantastic person that allowed us to do all this. And there's a lot more people to thank. And I don't know if I should go into all of that right now. I don't know what we're doing here, but well, fuck it. I'll do the more thank yous. Got to thank the patrons. We've had 37 total patrons, and all of them meant the world to us just because it gave us hope that we could do this full time. Obviously, that hasn't been the case. That's part of the reason why I'm leaving. But it's having that support, having the community that we've been able to grow, and a lot of the people that have grown it from the community itself. I mean, we wouldn't be as active as we are on Discord if it wasn't for Sam sharing every link that he's ever seen. We have created something that I think we're all very proud of on Patreon, and a lot of that has to go to the patrons themselves. The first one, and I think the most notable one, is our guy Jake. Has been here for 31 months, which is insane to think about. He helped give us our first kind of hope, and the fact that he's stayed around always gave us hope. And Jake is a lifelong friend that we've made, I think, from all of this. Same goes for Pat. And Pat's always been a weird one too, because I wasn't always on Pat's segments. I mean, Jake was always on the fast break, but Pat really wasn't always on my show until he started doing Superfans. And we learned Pat, and we saw so much from Pat, especially in the last couple months where he started doing this Ryan Pace impersonation. We saw how smart and kind and intelligent of a person that Pat is, and it's been crazy to get to know him. Matt was a guy that kind of along the same lines of Jake was one of our first guys to ever put money behind us and help support us. And I never did a podcast, I think, with Matt. but he was always great in every segment he did, and he was a fantastic help. Next up is Christian, our guy out in Colorado. He was one of the guys that was always supportive pretty much, I think, before I even joined. He was big with Ricky and Mark, and I think even Dave too. Christian was huge, and you guys are really the thing that I'm going to take away the most of it. I'm going to go through all of them. I don't care. I have time. Sorry guys. I'm going through every single person. But Christian is the man. Next up is Brandon. Brandon was giving money to us just because I don't know why Brandon was giving money to us.
Brandon was giving money to us because he had the belief that if you were going to invest your time into this, you should invest your money into it, which didn't make sense because it didn't make sense. And Mark would always say this, and he's true. He goes, then why didn't he just give you $5? Because Patreon takes a cut.
Well, we love him.
Yeah.
We love Brandon, and he's fantastic, and a good friend that we've made along the way, and he still will be. But yeah, I still remember when Ricky would have to shoot me and Brandon doing the NFL videos, and we had the first 2 weeks where we just hated each other. Like that was the bit.
Yeah, that was a bit.
Brandon and I hated each other for 16 whole videos.
And people didn't understand that it was a bit. They thought it was
they didn't
real.
like it.
They thought it was real.
We did a pretty good job. Next up is Sam.
Didn't
I
you
mentioned
have
it
a
already.
divider put between you guys at one point?
Yeah, we put the divider between us. I'll find that video. But yeah, Brandon was great. Next up is Sam. Sam is such a supportive person at his core, and such a extremely kind person. And that's what we've gotten to know throughout the times of calling him. But also we know him as a Meatball Chicago fan. He brings passion to every Chicago topic that he has. And it's great that we were able to connect to Chicago so much. We had right now we have 17,000 subscribers on YouTube, and a lot of that is Chicago based. And I know Sam's more out in the suburbs, but having that Chicago touch with all these teams, he brought the passion every single time that he was on a topic, and he always brought passion to us, and you didn't feel more supported by anybody else than Sam. He's a fantastic person and a great patron, and I'm so appreciative to him. One of our other guys, Ziani, trying to find out what his name was, and then when Big Z got on, I mean, Big Z was one of the patron highlights, and I miss Z, and the fact that he went missing for 9 months, and then we finally got him back on. Another Arizona fan, but yeah, we love Ziani. Next up is Will, our guy, but literally lived 2 blocks away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He started being a patron, and then he started calling in, and then we realized that he lived 5 minutes away from where we recorded, which was absolutely crazy to figure out. But Bill was a blast to talk to each and every week. Next up is Soapy, and the fact that Soapy just told us that he bumped it up from 5 to 10 is a shame, because I never talked to Soapy, and now I finally
Really?
got the chance to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. You've never been in a watch along.
And I never got the chance to talk to him. But Soapy is one of the funniest people that we had in our Discord. He was consistently every single time making jokes, and he was absolutely on point every single time he was making them. Hilarious person. Dallas was super important. Dallas was one of the guys that was always contributing via YouTube comments, and he was extremely supportive and extremely helpful, and always talking and always being around. Braden, same thing. Braden is retro, who we more know him by, our resident Clipper fan. Love him. Kind of in the same vein as Soapy. He's always been supporting us. I think he's probably watched every single Fast Break episode that we've ever put out. And he's hilarious as well. Soapy and Retro are my guys. I love them so much. They are always providing great stuff in our Discord. And they've always been supportive, and Retro deserves a ton of love. Same with Alexis. Alexis was always commenting, and then when he became a patron, I was like, holy crap. Like he finally, like, like he was always there, and then it was like I think he was always saying like once I got the money he would do it, and he did it. And he's always provided great topics. He's always been supporting us especially during Suns topics. Alexis is a fantastic person, and again, an essential worker, so shout out to him. Bilal is next. We obviously just talked to him, but he and I go way back just because he was always DMing me, asking me about my takes about the NBA. And he was not afraid to say I was wrong. And he was not afraid to come into my DMs and be like, dude, I disagree with you. And when he first became a patron, I was afraid that he was going to be a guy that was going to be like hostile. I always thought he was going to come in and just be like, no, and this is why you're wrong. And Bilal is, and you guys just heard him on The Last Dance, such a well-spoken person and such a smart and kind person as well. So shout out to Bilal. But he knows his NBA. Steve, who worked with us for a little bit as well, used to be writing for our website. He supported us as well. Bryant was around for a little bit too. Didn't get to know Bryant too much, but the fact that you supported us at some point, Brian, is super super helpful. Every time that we got an email coming in saying we got a new patron, it was like we blew up our group chat just because we were like, holy shit, it's fucking happening. After that was Cassius. Cassius has always been Cassius is a fairly new guy. And we had a pretty memorable thing with Cassius. I won't say what it was, but Ricky, you obviously know what it was. Cassius almost made one of the most generous donations to our Patreon account. That's for sure.
Gotta check those zeros, baby.
Yeah, Cassius is a good guy, and we appreciate his support. Eric, our Boston fan, Eric has always been around, and Eric was always great. We always try to get him on. I think we had like one segment with him, and it was very good. But Eric, we never got able to get him on for many other topics after that. Then our guy, Demon King, Sean P. He was always in our YouTube comments. I will never forget his logo of the eagle, and it was like a white background. He was always in it. He was always in our YouTube channel, and then he finally jumped in our Discord, and he's been somebody that's been great to learn and to know and to get to know throughout this time. And we got to give a shout out to Demon King. You rock, my guy. Hubertus, one of our first ever patrons as well. Didn't get to know too much about him, but he was always supportive and he was always around. And we always thought like at some point he's gonna cancel, and he never did. He always stuck around, and he's fantastic. Shane was a big hockey guy, right? He was the Colts fan.
Yeah, Calgary Flames and Colts. He's still in Twitch every now and then.
Yeah, I mean,
he hit me
great
up
guy
on Twitter saying that he'll see me week 2 because the Colts and the Vikings play week 2, which I'm scared about because I'm scared of the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just goes back to the support from YouTube, and when we saw these guys pop up in patrons, it was massive. Tim Shaw as well. Tim's very recent, still a current guy. Gave us a great topic with the most memorable Chicago moments. So shout out to Tim for that. Trevor was been around. I still follow Trevor on Twitter. We just talked about him before in our pre-show meeting. Trevor was super influential, one of our first guys as well. Our guy Charlie, also currently in our Discord, Laker fan, and our first UK fan, I believe, as well. So shout out to Charlie. It was cool to always see the broad range, and we could even hit that with Retro being Australian as well. Couple other guys that were long gone. Sean. Gage as well. Gage was around for a little bit. Trevor had a couple different ones. Ewins, our local Nick fan. We love him. He's always bringing Nick heat into our Discord. If you want Nick's heat, if you want Nick's takes, go into our Discord. $1 at patreon.com/MoSoPodcast. You will get all of the Nick's takes you want from EZ. He's fantastic. Batalio, not a huge talker in our Discord, but the fact that he was still around and still helping us out and still supporting us means the world to us. And even if you're not like one of these guys that we were able to develop a bond with, you guys still are important to us, and you guys still made an impact on our channel. Same with Eric, same with Elliot, same with Brendan as well. Brendan's really new, and I haven't gotten a chance to get to know him, but shout out to Brendan Curley. The fact that whether you joined back in 2015 or whether you joined back in 2020, your contributions were important. Same with James. James fairly new as well. James has just recently joined as well, and same with Killian. Killian's new as well. Killian's from May. Same with Henry. Henry's fairly new. He joined back in March. But yeah, all those guys, whether it was $1, $5, $10, or $200, you guys truly made an impact on us. And it's more than I can say for some of the guys that even work for us. You guys provided so much content each and every time you came onto our show. Every time you shared and talked to us in our Discord, you are a massive part of MVP. And that was, I think, something that we've always prided ourselves on, was the fact that we wanted to build the community. And, maybe it didn't get as big as we wanted to, but the fact that we had one, and the fact that it's so strong, and the fact that I know that I can pop into the Discord even after this and talk to you guys it's great. I will always think of you guys as friends, and you guys mean the world to me. And finally, I want to give out a shout out to even the people that weren't patrons that still supported us. Vageberg, one of the guys. I'm now blanking on names. Who's the Celtics fan? Riley as well. I mean, there's so many of these guys that mean the world to us, and even if you're calling us idiots, the fact that you were commenting on our YouTube channel means the world to us. And I pulled up our mock draft for 2020, and that's why I'm getting teary-eyed, because the fact that I'm not going to be able to finish it out sucks. So it sucks to be making this announcement, and the fact that I was able to ramble for about 30 minutes there, I appreciate it. Ricky and Dave, thanks for the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, Sean, we love you. You're basically a brother to us.
Dave, I can't even see you right now.
You're going to make me cry.
My internet still sucks.
I was going to say, you can't even see me. Okay, well, I still love you. You're still a brother. None of those things changes just because you can't see me.
Oh, we're still going to go to B-dubs. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're still going to do B-dubs. We're still going to watch, MMA and football and basketball and all that fun
my
shit.
Super Bowl buddies.
Absolutely. I'm wearing the same shirt that I was the first day I actually met you.
Really?
I did that on purpose because Sean's first impression of me was that, God, this guy's such a douchebag. So I want to, that was my first time meeting Sean.
Was that the day Phil kept popping in to meet you too?
No, Phil was there. Phil was there.
Phil stuck around because he wanted to meet you.
Yep. Didn't know if I was going to show up or not, but no, it was Sean. You've been such a good friend, and I feel like we hit it off from the get go. The We Agree podcast fucking jokes. Just very similar styles and opinions on some things. But yeah, I've learned a ton from you, and the past couple of years have been fantastic. And I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it. Not nice. You always have a place here. You always have a place here. If you ever want to come back for a one-off or whatever, you're always welcome.
I feel like Brett Favre right now. I got the itch again. I mean, that's the thing about this is as many as all the reasons that led to this decision. There's so many reasons that would change it. I mean, who doesn't love talking about sports with their best friends? We're lucky to have each other, right, to talk to, but we also have all the great patrons as well that mean the world to us.
Yep. Ricky,
I'm gonna cry watching fucking Sean and Wells cry.
I'll turn my camera off.
Don't make me cry.
This is my first job that I ever got in sports. This place I will never leave. This shirt will always be a part of my collection. MVP will always be a part of my life. The fact, I think it was 2017 or 2018. I think we passed 1 million listens for the fast break, or it was MVP in general, and I put that on my resume. That was one of the most meaningful things that I ever saw. It was the fact that people wanted to listen to us talk, and they still do. I mean, we still have people watching this full live stream from start to finish. It's insane. It's something that I never thought would be possible. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry watching Sean cry.
You don't have to. You don't have to say anything, Ricky. Don't worry. I still have your phone number. When I first joined here, I wasn't balding.
You weren't?
And now
I
you
just
can
thought
see
you
the
were
back of
al-
my
I
head and
thought you were
showing
always
that time has
balding.
passed.
I thought you were always balding.
No, I was like 16 when I joined you guys. I wasn't balding at
Yeah, I
that point.
know, but I thought you were balding from like 12.
I hope not.
I wasn't looking at your hair though.
No, I wasn't either.
Man.
Sam says that he's crying too. He's
Yeah.
crying
Oh,
bad,
King E
yeah.
too. King E, my guy. That's
Fuck, man, my man Sean leaving.
yeah. Shout out to King E too. I don't think I gave. He deserves a second shout out. King E rocks.
I got nothing else to say, man.
Yeah.
It's been a fun run. Like, honestly, the better part of a decade getting to know you and all our fans. So yeah.
And Jake said it best. I thought he came out of the womb balding. Thank you, Jake. That's exactly what I needed from Jake right now.
Yeah.
It's exactly that.
Wait, we got to hit with
How tall is Sean?
wait.
You
Is
guys
he-
suck.
Oh, did I spell it wrong? Oh no, it's just hairline. Yep. Sean,
You're fucking ruthless.
Sean is taking a fadeaway jumper, and then it's Sean's height. Wasn't that
You spelled height wrong,
I know.
dumbass.
I can't spell. You think I know how to spell?
I
Oh,
before
Sean-
E except after C.
No, it's fucking Sean's height.
You guys really do suck at this.
There we go. I missed the S. 5'4".
Yeah, thanks, Philly Sean. I mean, that's what it is. We never tried to take ourselves too seriously as a podcast. We're not trying to be ESPN. We're just three guys who just really enjoy talking sports.
I
and,
don't know,
you
man. In 2012, we totally did. Watching that first video,
We totally did back in the day. But like this,
we're gonna bring you a different analysis that you're just not seeing here on YouTube.
Absolutely.
That was us.
Absolutely. But you gotta admit, like, this is all opinions.
Oh my
Good,
God,
bad, or
yeah.
other.
Oh.
We're gonna give you opinions.
Well thought out and researched opinions, and also just dumbass opinions. Just opinions that I woke up and thought, hey, I'm gonna say this to at least 100 people. I'm gonna go out and put my name on it, my Twitter profile, and I'm gonna go say the stupidest shit right now. And let's see how Dave and Ricky react. And I think Ricky and Dave did the same exact thing. And that's all we wanted to do was we wanted to create a community that felt genuine, and it felt like you were just hanging out with your friends. And as long as we did that, I think we did everything that we accomplished, or everything that we set out to accomplish.
Yep.